Hey guys, thank you for joining me for this video. So I'm going to do a battle of the brands, and I've got Wet n Wild and e.l.f. and this video was quite crazy to film because I ran into a little bit of roadblocks because I mean, brands are just not created equal. I mean, they're not supposed to be. They're just no. So yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoy the video. It's really interesting, yeah, to find some stuff that you thought was going to be way better that's not. Okay, so let's just get started. So I have, on this side I'm going to do Wet n Wild, and this side it will be e.l.f. Wet, Wild, e.l.f. I'll put some little. Okay, so let's just get started. So I have the e.l.f. Hydrating Face Primer that I will put on. I was kind of thinking that it would be like e.l.f. Like I could do like Battle of the Brands, like, you know, like Maybelline and then CoverGirl, and like I don't know how my opinion will be with that because so I am using the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge because Wet n Wild, no offense to Wet n Wild, they don't have a lot of face products or stuff like that, any applicators. And I just didn't want to use e.l.f. for that, so I'm just giving it a fair chance and using the same applicator for each side. And for what I can, I will use my fingers. So the only other thing that I don't have is like a brow product from Wet n Wild. So I'm just going to use a brow gel from e.l.f. It's like the $2 one. So I'm going to go in, this is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus, and I have this sponge. They have a flat side for the Miracle. I'm just going to use one side and one side so the foundations don't mix. Just kind of, so I have the Photo Focus foundation in Soft Ivory from Wet n Wild. So now I'm using the e.l.f. oil-free SPF 15 sunscreen in the shade Porcelain. So now I'm taking the clean side, so this is the dirty side, and I'm going to apply some to sponge, and it's a little bit thicker. I've never used this foundation before either. And it's a little bit darker, and it smells terribly of perfume fragrance. It's like, I don't know, they're not like, either of them aren't very good shade matches. This one's a little bit darker and this one's lighter, so maybe we'll try to even it out later. So right now I'm just going to move on to brows like I naturally would. I'm just going to use the e.l.f. like $2 brow gel because I don't have to. Ooh, it's like clumpy. I'm gonna try the other side. like clumping up. I don't know. Why are you doing that? I don't have any product or anything on my face. It's like it hates maybe the foundation that it doesn't like or something. I don't know. Ugh. Ew, it just like clumped off on my finger. That's double gross. Ugh. And I'm also going to use the Smashbox primer for my eyes because I kind of just want to give the shadows. I don't know. I just didn't have a Wet n Wild eye primer, so I just figured I'd go give everyone an even chance. For shadows, I have the Wet n Wild Au Naturel Bare Necessities. That's cute. Eyeshadow palette. That's what it looks like from Wet n Wild. And then I have the e.l.f. Need It Nude palette. Kind of bought these at the same time. They're a lot like the Naked palette, both of them, but they're pretty similar in their basicness. So, I mean, this is the e.l.f. one, and then the Wet n Wild. I don't know how to show it. Oh, and the Wet n Wild one just broke. So, fabulous. The shadow itself is fine. Just have to get some lash glue and place that back in place. So I have e.l.f. brushes and Wet n Wild brushes, so we'll just kind of alternate through them. So just gonna take the this shade right here from the e.l.f. palette on this Wet n Wild brush and just use the one side and place this here on my lid on the e.l.f. side, and then I'm gonna dust that brush off. And then I'm having a lot of spacing issues here. And I'm going to just go into the Wet n Wild because there's not a matte in their palette. I'm just going to go into this contour palette and use the kind of contour shade on my lid. Okay. And they both have kind of like this shade in it. They both have. So I'm going to take this shade right here. I'm really nervous because one of those shadows already fell out. So this shade right here, and place that in my crease from the e.l.f. side. I'm going to dust that brush off with that same brush and put this on the other side. Gonna use like the contour powder left kind of like a cast on my cheek. Just a like kind of shadowy brush. It's like I don't know, maybe it's like a concealer brush, I don't know. But I'm gonna take it into the darkest brown shades into both the palettes. This is the one here on the Wet n Wild side, on the e.l.f. side. And just build up my outer corner. You kind of see I'm just patting this into the crease, and then I'll go back and blend it out. Get that brush cleaned off. And go into this shade right here in the Wet n Wild palette. Let's see if this will darken up anything. I'm going to take a clean Wet n Wild blending brush and then just kind of blend this crease out. This one turned out to be a bit darker, so I wonder if the brown is a little bit more pigmented. I don't know. I'm kind of liking the e.l.f. palette a lot better. That's just me though. From the Wet n Wild palette, and I have this Kirkland shadow brush. And just place this all over the lid. All over it. Very messily. Just kidding. This look is turning out to be pretty basic. I mean, there's just not very many options now that I'm trying to match the looks. It makes me a little bit limited. Okay, so that shade is very subtle. And I'm going to take the same kind of one right here and do that on the other eye. Elf palette, and that's pretty much the census right there. So the palettes both have a little bit of a light shimmer shade to them, and I'm just going to take those and dust that on my brow bone. They're both kind of, one of them's a little bit lighter. Yeah. Yeah, I like the Elf palette a lot better. Just throwing it out there. So this one is a win. This one is not so much. It gives you a lot more. I mean, it gives you options, but it's just not anything that I would want to use. The Elf one has a little bit more mattes in it, so that's the census with that. Okay, so for liner, I have the Wet n Wild felt tip liner. Crayon liner, Pro Line. I like the brown one in this, so okay, that's just a simple line. And now I'm going to take this one that I used to absolutely love, and it's the e.l.f. waterproof eyeliner pen, and it's not exactly super waterproof, so like, but I used to wear this all the time, so it's a really long line. Alright, so I like the I like the Wet n Wild liner better than the e.l.f. one. So now the biggest one is mascara. Okay, so I have the e.l.f. New Formula Lengthening Volumizing Mascara in black. And then I have the Wet n Wild Volume Building Formula Mascara in very black. Okay, so I'm going to do the Wet n Wild one first, because, so look at, that's a nice brush, natural hair brush, and the formula doesn't seem, it's really wet. Alright, so mascaras I'm not sure about. I don't the Wet n Wild one kind of did nothing, and this one did something, but the brush is really small and it doesn't get cleaned off very good. So I don't know. Alright, now I'm going to move to concealer, and I have the e.l.f. concealer like pen cream in Fair to Light. So it seems a bit dark. Let's blend this out before it gets too much. Okay, the Wet n Wild concealer makeup stick. So it's either a makeup stick or concealer. I don't really know. Funny because I can smell. This is the Wet n Wild side. This is the e.l.f. side. They both have a significant smell to them. That is not okay. So I have the e.l.f. powder. I actually like this powder quite a lot. This is just a powder brush. Just kind of blend this through. Eco Tools brush and use the e.l.f. the Wet n Wild powder. I can't remember the names. This one is the Photo Focus Pressed Powder in Warm Light. The e.l.f. Baked Bronzer. And I have a like kind of angled blush brush. This is in the shade Maui. I have the Wet n Wild angled blush brush, and I'm going to contour with this. I don't really know how I feel about either of these. I kind of like the e.l.f. one a little bit better, but I like the shade of the Wet n Wild one. So, I mean, I like them, I guess, equally. I just don't like the powder on this one, like the highlighter powder, 'cause it's a little bit dusty. I have another angled blush brush from Wet n Wild, and I'm going to use this ombre blush in Princess Dowries. I'm just going to swirl it all together to get the color. It's not very pigmented, I'll tell you. Yeah, there's no color coming off on that, so we got that going for us. And I'm gonna take the e.l.f. complexion brush and just kind of take a light pink from this one. Has a lot more pigment, so my face is going to look unbalanced. Just from the blush palette, I'm gonna put a little bit of this one on this side because I just can't stand how unbalanced that is. It's just bothering me. Now for the crazy fun part, I don't have any lip products because I don't know. I'm not a fan of lip products, so I just didn't want to go down that battle. An e.l.f. mineral powder brush and a e.l.f. blush brush. And I'm gonna take the blush brush with the Wet n Wild. Because I don't know, I don't have a reason. This is a really pretty highlighter. You can almost go too crazy with it. So why not? This kind of pink shade right here from the highlight palette. And just kind of illuminate. It's a really subtle highlight. Just totally apply. Alright guys, so that is the end of this video. So if you guys did like it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and I can do more videos like this, like maybe like Maybelline and CoverGirl, and like Revlon and L'Oreal. Those are just the ones that I kind of feel like they all kind of match together. And I could have done like a Rimmel with NYC, but NYC doesn't exist anymore, so what's the conspiracy behind that? So thank you guys so much for watching. Big thumbs up, and if you did like it, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos, and I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching.